Hopefully you can hear me. Oh, I've cut myself off. Oh dear. Oh. See, this is what happens when I rush it a bit. There we go. There we go. How is everyone doing? And Mike, look, is making like little things happening. That's good. Where's the audio gone? It's over there. Cool. Yeah, the music was meant to be audible. That was the point. I think you mean it's too audible. Let me fix that. There we go. So the music should be about right now. So the idea is meant to be background, but not too loud. Like as I said, to add a little bit of not having silence in the silence. So I'm just pouring the tea. So, yeah. Obvious question. Everyone's going to ask it. Where's 114.5? So there's two things that get. I keep getting thrown pull requests. So that's what we're going to be doing in about 10 minutes time, is going through the pull requests from Patrick and reviewing them, talking about what they mean and what they do. But there's a wider thing of, like, we don't have good, clear release criteria. And I've raised this with the foundation and said, look, like, we're going to have full-time staff. When do we do a release? I don't mean time. I mean, when do we say this is good, we're going to ship this? Because we need to have a point that we can say that. And then we can pull that back into a release schedule. And I know that's a big thing that people need. And I think that's kind of one of the things is, like, we've got something that works, but is it good enough to ship? We don't know. Does the foundation want to stand by it if we shipped it today? By the way, is this shirt a weird combination? Let me know. Wow, there's a lot of stuff to catch up with. Hi, well, hi Crypto Hindi, hi Sin. Thank you for the comments in the background. Hi Caliste, Cali Style for Cali Style for Life OG. Got there eventually. Hi Brad. Glad to hear Crypto Mafia. Sadly, I'm not in New York. I am in London. My time zone would be, well, yeah. If I was in New York, I'd be streaming at a much more US friendly time. But what's happening is, so I'm on call this week. So if Google Ads goes down, it's potentially my fault. It's fine. But yeah, so I've been on call today. Got to work. Got a last meeting ended 6:30. Rushed home, set all this up, and then went, let's go live. So I'm here. Cool. So Abhishek asks, we get this one quite a lot actually. Is there a plan to burn Doge? And the answer is, whose Doge are we going to burn? So the thing is, Ethereum has, like, it's what, $5 a transaction? Hang on, tell you what, let's find out. Let's check some Google. Ethereum Transaction Fee. Okay. So they're talking, yeah, $3 per transaction. So they can burn bits of those $3. And that's how that works. I'm realizing this is too low up, or I'm too high, too far down, and it's cutting my hat off. This is a disaster. I cannot have the hat cut off. There we go. Yeah, so their transaction fees are like $3. So they burn $1.50 worth of Ethereum. That's not insignificant. Great. We currently have transaction fees of 20 cents, and we're trying to reduce them to below a cent. So if we burnt half of what's left, like, A, we're already hitting economic problems because they're that low, and B, it wouldn't make a big difference. So that's the thing, is like, we could instead of reducing the fees, we could add more to them and then burn it. But that's all Ethereum's doing, is it's saying, hey, we're burning your fees. How much are your fees? Well, 10 times what Doge, well, 10 times current Doge, and that's where they found that from. So that's the thing, is like, it has to come from somewhere. Oh, I lost. Justin says you need a Slim Jim Doge mooncap. If that's an option, I definitely need one. Slim Jim, if you're watching this, probably... I think we're both in a group DM somewhere. Message me. Zordon says, you are helping US East Coasters through the workday. I'm glad. I used to set device policy in my last job, which was great because it meant, like, if I wanted to argue that watching a stream in the background was fine, then I could. Unfortunately, for my new job, it's not my policy, so I can't watch streams during the day. It's very sad. Cool. Right, let's jump into the pull request. Oh, I have not launched a VM, so I can't switch to a VM, so let's start that. This is what happens when I rush my setup. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look, I think I sent this link into chat a second ago. We're going to go through the things that Patrick's been doing, and reviewing them and seeing what's in there and what needs to go in. Cool. So, just waiting for that to just start up. Hi, Undead King Taze. Hey Ken. Hey Bangston. So keep in mind, it's not just the nodes. So I know Patrick had concerns about the network. He hasn't given me a hard number because I've seen people presenting this number or that number. No one has told me this number and we launch it. And again, it's not my call to launch it. I think we should. I'm a little bit of the loose cannon in the group, so me wanting to doesn't mean that others are going to agree with me. I don't think any of them are surprised I want to launch it. Hang on, okay, we've got a VM up now. There we go. If I log into that, there we go. That should resize. Brilliant. So in terms of proof of work, what I want the foundation to have the time and energy to do is sit down with a blank sheet of paper, metaphorically, because who uses paper? A blank sheet of paper and go, right, it's 2021. There's 12 years of engineering experience since Satoshi launched Bitcoin. What does the ideal cryptocurrency that you use as currency look like today? And then how do we make Dogecoin like that? So not just thinking, do we change this one thing or that one thing, or do we move to this specific solution, but thinking, what does ideal look like? And maybe that's proof of stake, maybe that's federated Byzantine agreement, maybe that's proof of storage, maybe that's something we haven't seen yet. I don't know. But doing that completely blank slate thing and then being able to draw sort of a design of where we're going with that. Oh, which reminds me, so last stream I talked about an interview I will be interviewed by Soma Green. That has changed date, so hopefully none of you remember the old date. The new date is the 22nd of October, so a week this Friday. And we're going to be talking about bits of the roadmap from the foundation. So there's specific things that I am comfortable, I know what we're going to be doing, and I can talk about that. I wanted to get Tim on stream with Soma and probably myself to talk about the roadmap in detail later, but I want to start talking about that. So I have not seen anything on Wex e-commerce, which is why we have not seen anything about that and Dogecoin. Do you have a link to that? Hang on. But I mean, the thing is, like, so actually one of the points that I was thinking through recently is everyone has these expectations on Dogecoin running like we're a company, and with the foundation there'll be an organization and there's some structure to that. But when Bitcoin is added to a new thing, does the Bitcoin Twitter tweet about it? That's kind of the parallel. I don't know. I don't have the right balance. Maybe we need a media team. Like, we are restructuring, so we have more flexibility. But anyway, let me pull up what's been going on so you can see it. So this is the pull request we're looking at. I've answered the burn question about 5 minutes beforehand, so I'm not repeating it right now, but I will repeat it again in about half an hour if you ask me then. Oh, we got a bit. I want to not spam everyone who's just heard one explanation with another one. There we go. Sorry, just working on the website in the background there. Let me just pull that up. Oh. Apparently my VM is slow today. In your own time? Okay, well that will be up in a second. Hey Sam. Audio Frequency says, I want to use the Dogecoin core to print paper wallets, but the So Print button doesn't do anything. Thoughts? So, it definitely used to, because I tested it not that long ago. But that doesn't mean potentially something hasn't changed and we've missed it. What version of Dogecoin are you running, Audio? Oh, come on. Because it's loaded part of the page. Oh, there we go. So this is a fairly easy one. So what we're doing here, and again, like I think I've just link this into chat. So what's happened here is Patrick has updated how Dust works. So back in 1.4, 1.5, so it's a long time ago. We introduced a change where any very small transaction outputs have a penalty applied to them. And that's turned out to massively complicate the logic. Whoops, never mind. But we need to persist this. So we were trying to reduce that minimum before the penalty applies in 1.14.5. But that's turned out to be trickier than we thought it would be. I thought we could find a bit of a shortcut around that, but Patrick's found some another solution. It seems to work anyway. So this is what I'm currently looking at today. The link is in chat if you want to have a full detailed review. I looked at this last night. At the bottom, you can see here, we're just discussing how can I test this, because I wanted to go through it from the user interface, and I wanted to confirm that there was no way of doing that because I couldn't find one. And he's confirmed that no, there isn't, so that's fine. We are just going. I'm just going to reconfirm this actually. Development Dogecoin log. I believe that's where I was. Yep. Source Qt Dogecoin Qt testnet. Definitely should work, Audio. I'll give it a go in a second. Because I can just print off from this. And it might be something has changed in the version of the Qt library that we use, and perhaps that's impacted it. So, file, print paper wallets. So print. So that pops up a diagonal dialog for me. Now this is Linux, obviously, but I'm guessing that doesn't pop up at all for you, Audio. By the way, for anyone who's getting really excited that they can grab the one test Doge I just sent to that, you are very welcome to it if you can pull it off this. But again, it's a test Doge. Don't get too excited. So we're just going to confirm that, in fact, actually that will work as the test transaction. So if that goes through, we know this is good or good enough. I want to do a full end-to-end test with different amounts over the network before we confirm the release. But I think this is good. And then like we have the problem that the moving price makes it very hard to come up with a consistent fee schedule because the amounts we're targeting vary and there are economic incentives at different levels. Oh, that's great to hear, Guillermo. Sorry, I'm butchering your name, but that's great to hear about Windows 11. I have not been that brave about upgrading, but it is good to know. Okay, let me just ping the Foundation because they have Mac devs and maybe one of them can check. So I can do this elsewhere. Getting a report on the stream. Mac paper. Cool. Okay. So just waiting for this to actually confirm. Actually, better than that, we can just do copy the transaction ID. I can go to chain.so. Okay, so chain.so has seen the transaction. That means it's relaying successfully. Given that, we can reasonably expect it to be included in the block, and I'm calling that good enough. We don't have to worry too much about waiting for a miner. So, gonna mark this done. Tested results. Merge it and confirm. So I think this. So we've got two more. Oh, I'd like an opinion from chat. So we've got this one that came in recently. PR checkout 6404. And what they did was they took a... I really want to be able to show you the original. But what they've done is they've replaced the key icon with this one with the Doge in, which is kind of adorable. But I'm not sure we want to keep it. So I'd like thoughts on that. Also, what's this based off? That's not the right branch. Okay. So for people who are asking at the price, I have no idea. Like, I've been in crypto since 2011. I'm not retired on a beach yet. Like, I'm not a trader. I'm here about the tech. I want to make this a really good, decentralized, cost-effective currency. But like, I don't trade. In fact, that would almost be the advice I would give is like, you know, the people I know who became rich from cryptocurrency, they bought an amount they could afford to forget about and then literally forget about, and then they forgot about it. Every time I trade, I swear I lose money. Like, if I buy and I just forget and just leave it alone for 6 months, I do okay. if I buy and I trade and I sell and I go, oh, maybe that one's doing better, it goes badly every time. Like, I sold some Ethereum 6 months ago to buy a small coin that I thought would do well. It's gone nowhere. Basically wiped off the money. I left it in Ethereum, do better. So yeah, I don't do prices, sorry. Many people will. Many people will do technical analysis or fundamental analysis, and that's great for them. But like, I just wouldn't be comfortable giving you advice. Okay, so everyone likes the key icon is the summary on that one. Okay, well, let's see what it looks like when it's actually rendered. But yeah. So I'm just keeping a quick eye on something because I've got something with work. So the thing, the reason I can't do an ETA on the release is it's not down to me to release it. Like, if I could just say, yep, we're shipping it, I would just ship it. But I need other people to agree with me. So that's the thing, is the ETA is whenever Patrick and ideally an extra person, or if I get 2 other ticks from anyone, that would probably be good. I mean, you can always download it and run it yourself. And maybe we should try doing pre-compiled binaries for the experimental people. I don't know. Did everyone see, I put this on Reddit a while ago, that you can do low fees with 1.14.4. It's just a bit tricky. Hang on, user on Nicole. Just gonna dig that out. Over what it looks like if we switch to that. And I'm just digging up an article on Reddit that has the how to use low fees with 1.14.4. I'd hate to say this, but I hope not too surprised that I can't make any comments on Google projects. Sorry. 121. Oh, it is in fact broken. Cool, I think that's back. Sorry about that, we had a bit of a network hiccup. It should be solid now. It's not yet telling me the stream health is good, but it should do. I'm just going to keep an eye on that. There's not a lot more I can do if it's completely broken. That would be my ISP, unfortunately. Oh, that really isn't looking good. Oh dear. Oh no, it seems to be back. I don't know. I'm going to keep going and hope. There we go. That's the article I was looking for. So I will. Oh, I don't have a copy of 14.4 immediately to hand to show you, but it is yeah, I can set up with a Windows system at some point. I can show you potentially my Sunday stream. I can just show you what that looks like, but I need to like set up to be able to stream my desktop, which is difficult because my desktop is too big. So it's not a triviality. Right, so that key, I can see it's there. I thought that was it. Hang on. That's just where it's included. Okay, let's count. Well, first of all, has my stream fixed itself? Because that would be good. Yeah, it says stream healthy again. That's good. Mr. S asks, is it possible to reduce the gap time between the blocks? Okay. Whew. Right, so this is a complex question. So the answer is sort of. Technically, yes. Like, if we change, there's an interval target number. If I reduce that to 6 seconds, then it will be 6 seconds. Now, obviously, if I just change the number, it would fork the coin. So we would want to do it in a controlled way. That's problem one. But there's a bigger issue to this. You may have seen on Reddit, someone was saying that there is a miner who is mining empty blocks. And they're portraying this as a massive catastrophe. And we're going, no, it's not great because it means that transactions are delayed one block. But the reason it's happening is fine. And they're going, oh, but they're getting a reward for no work. It's kind of, well, no. When you create a block, you also confirm every transaction preceding that block. So you're not just saying, and here are some new ones, but you're saying, and I agree with everything that has passed. So that makes it significantly harder to then change the sequencing of things beforehand. So a 51% attack is where someone might make several minutes of blocks that do their own thing. And if in that several minutes only one block occurred, when there should be several, it's probably easier for someone to 51% attackers. Even if someone is just mining empty blocks but relaying them properly onto the network, that helps secure the network. Now, there's a couple of things to this. So what's happening with this miner who is mining empty blocks, and this comes back to the block time, is that when a block is received, they process the block, process the transactions in the block, mark all transactions in that previous block as done, presuming they all validate. It then creates the template of what the next block will look like. So, because in every block we currently have we do not, we consume every transaction is pending. At the start of the next interval, there are no transactions. So at the 0 seconds, there are no transactions in the block. They then send that template to their mining hardware. And because they've got like warehouses of miners, that takes a non-trivial amount of effort and time to get there. So they don't refresh the template they are working from every second or anything. They do it every 55 seconds. Normally this is fine because it takes over 55 seconds for a block to be mined. So 55 seconds they start a new template, and that's 60-65 seconds a block pops out. It's all fine. Great. Problem sorted. Wonderful. However, if we drop the interval to 6 seconds, they would always use that initial template. That means unless we have full blocks, they would never mine transactions because they would only mine transactions that overflow from the previous block. Make sense? So that's why it's super hard to actually change these things. It sounds trivial, but there's lots of complex economic problems that emerge or incentive differences around them. Andreas asks, can we get Timothy here? Hope to. I think that's Timothy Stebbing. Nazmi asks, does Vitalik work in the background? Vitalik is an advisor, so we go to him when we have specific questions we want him to provide our advice on. That's what I mean by advisor. Sandeep asks, any update on the Doge Ethereum bridge? I have an email from Oscar I need to reply to, but no, that was him asking if the foundation would have funds to help support the development for his work rather than him giving me a status update. I need to go back and say I have no idea is the short answer. We need to make a priority list and then work through our burn rate. Andreas asks, how did you find the empty miner? So we looked at the address that their rewards were going to on Dogecoin, and that didn't pop up any results. But because we merged mine with Litecoin, we then looked at where their Litecoin rewards were going, and we went, oh, we know what that address is and who it is, so we then emailed them. I'm not going to name who it is, but we went, oh, that's them. We've got a point of contact with them. We emailed them. They went, yeah, that's because of this 55-second refresh thing. And we went, that makes sense. Can you try turning it down a little bit? And they said yes, and then they haven't come back to say it worked, so I'm guessing it didn't work. And so the risk realistically is one of appearances. So actually having empty blocks isn't technically a problem, but people see it as a problem, and the appearance of a problem can be much more damaging than an actual problem, if that makes sense. Right, so this doesn't seem to actually show the icon I was looking for anyway, so we're going to move on to the next one. So this one I don't think actually changes any running code, it's just pure test being revised. Okay, so he's rebuilt a whole test, interesting. Oh, Mr. S asks about working for the Dogecoin Foundation. So we've got at the moment more people than money, certainly. I want us to work on that. We want to be fundraising and trying to hire more people. And yes, I would love us to get to a point that we are doing open interviews, but we're not there yet. We literally have more people than money to pay them right now. So this is part of why, there's a long list of reasons I'm not going to be working for the foundation full time. It doesn't work out cost effective, but it's also just I'm not going to be because they need to use the money they have in a very cost effective way. Cool. So what we've got here is an update from Patrick. So this is revising some dust work that we did earlier. I'm just going to run this locally just to have been really thorough on it. So I'm just going to pull that down, create PR checkout. And that's going to build in the background while I review the actual code. So he's replacing this set of tests down here, which is probably for the best, honestly. And then making it into a slightly more detailed test. So it's all Python. Rorit, so I think there's not a lot to be done with the fundraising once the foundation launches properly, and we're at the stage where we're waiting on bank accounts being set up. And actually, kind of annoyed my bank hasn't got back to me about that yet. Let's double check they still haven't, but I don't think they have. Nope, still nothing from the bank. But it is kind of, we're waiting for a bank account being set up so we can pay people. We are doing basically dull HR stuff, so contracts. So we're employment contracts being drawn up. Things like how do we sort out health insurance for the US people? How do we ensure we are complying with the relevant employment laws in various different countries? How do we do the accounting so we don't get sued by the UK government? All this sort of stuff. Once that's done, the foundation should be operational. So it's mostly just, again, as is frequently the case, constrained by other people and how fast they move. I've just poured tea over my keyboard, so I'm going to have to fix that in a second. But we have a number of organisations that have been expressed interest in potentially funding the foundation. So I don't think it's going to be a massive problem, because we're having this one, A leads to B, leads to C, leads to D, and I'm going to go AFK a second while I go get a mop. I'll be right back. Cool. I have solved the tea crisis. I now have a damp cloth. Welcome to my world. Anyway, I also have tea, which is much better. Andlid asks, how's AML working out? Terribly. Like, you can imagine. Again, this is why the first application for a bank account, I think, is not going to go anywhere. So we're now rummaging around and trying to do calls with banks and go, can we work with you, please? We have a lot of money. It's kind of weird, though. So yeah, that's going really badly. Not because we can't prove where the money came from, but just getting their AML teams to go to understand what the heck we're talking about is a challenge. We will get there. Oh, AML is anti-money laundering. When you turn up with quite a lot of money in cryptocurrency, people tend to have questions like, where did this come from? How do we know that it isn't really secretly from weapons smuggling or something? And they want you to prove it, which is difficult, but not impossible. But it's just a lot of tedious paperwork, basically. We'll get there. But yeah, I suspect my first bank account application is not going to work. Oh, that's interesting. So I just got an email saying that the dev build broke. That's concerning. That is not the thing I meant to link to. Hang on. Let me find where that went to, because that's in my email. I think this is just a timeout, and we've seen this one before, but it's an infrastructure problem. Yeah, I think that's just an infrastructure problem, and I'm not too concerned about it. Okay, so we're just going to go through this, make sure it looks sane. So there are two dummy addresses he's sending money to. It's a bit weird he's accepting non-standard transactions in every scenario. Oh no, is that... Let's check that. So he's used 0, which is one way of doing it, I suppose. But I'm not entirely certain what it considers a 0 to be. ASCII to integer, string value. I mean, I don't like it, but it's right. That does work. Okay. So it's forcing that it always accept. It is specifically saying don't accept non-standard transactions. Sorry. So this is setting up a network. So it's doing setup nodes. This is creating 4 nodes, which is just documented. I believe he's documented. Yeah, he's documented the types of nodes there. That's fine. Set up 10 seeded addresses for nodes 0 to 2. Zero, 1 to 2, yeah, that makes sense. So send dusty transaction sends that much dust and that much fee. So with a fee of 2, why doesn't it go to all of them? Oh, I see. So 4 is the all scenario. That's fine. I'm just going to quickly run this just to make sure it does in fact work as described. QA, RPC test, no, pull tester, PCC tests. Okay, that's not worked. That's limits, okay. Andreas asks, can we send cake to the Dogecoin Foundation postal address? Please do not, it is our lawyers. That said, the lawyers may enjoy it. I'd love to get some way we can let people donate stuff to the foundation. That does sound like fun. I don't know how I would do that, but I'll consider it on the to-do list. Okay, and it passes. All right. So today is basically just reviewing other people's code. I know it's a little bit unusual one, but it needs doing. I'm just double checking a few things. Okay, so I thought that was already in. I don't like how we've got all this stuff that we don't know what it actually does. Okay. It's just that one file. I think I'm okay with that. If we get through this last one, I will then hop over to 121 again, which I haven't looked at for a while, so it'll be a bit exciting for me trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing with 121. Oh, quick reminder, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. The subscribers really help convince YouTube that I'm not just some random, and in fact I'm worth promoting, which helps to get more viewers, which helps get us attention and so forth and yeah. So someone about half an hour ago asked about burn, and I promised I would answer the question again. So the answer on could Dogecoin burn coins is we could, but the reason our fees are very low is that we have minimal spare, basically. So Ethereum burns typically, Ethereum has transaction fees of around $3 a transaction, of which they burn a non-trivial portion. I think it's all of it actually, but I would have to check. Don't quote me on that. So for Dogecoin to be burning $3 a transaction, we would have to not decrease our fees, but in fact increase them, and then start burning $3 a transaction. We could do that, but it wouldn't really be Dogecoin. So that's why we don't burn. Like, it just doesn't make economic sense for what we're doing. It's also partly, it was meant to help stabilize the economy around fees on Ethereum. So I suspect the dynamics of how that works will change as they merge the Ethereum 1 and Ethereum 2 chains at the end of the year, and then hopefully go into a sharded model next year. So you'll see other things with them too. I think I'm okay with this. Zaya asks, is the fee system for 114.5, that's what I mean anyway, competition based? It is always competition based. However, we are not at a point where our blocks are full, so there is no competition. If at some point we had 5 times the transactions and miners got to pick and choose, then yes, they would presumably prioritize the transactions with more fees. But as it is, like, we don't have full blocks. We have a much faster block rate, so we just don't have that problem. Okay, source qt, net help. Just making sure this doesn't in fact crash on startup in some bizarre way. Okay, so that started up fine. And then what we're going to do is just limit equals 0.0001, just make it really impossibly low. Is it not going to warn anything to me? Interesting. Oh, there we go. So it does in fact work. Yep, confirmed, tested, looking good. I am now reviewing badly. Well, let me merge it. That's going to be the question, isn't it? Little spinny disk. It's not great. Okay. Let's hop over to 121. Git branch or grep 21. Reroute, git checkout. So the thing with 121 is I need to do a whole bunch of. So we need to clean everything, rebuild everything, and then run the test to find out what works and what doesn't work currently. So that's going to be that's going to take a while. So basically, bring your questions in about 2 minutes time. Also, I think about a tea. So here's something else I've been playing with, which is just rebuilding. Oh, actually, yeah, let's jump into this one. Actually, no, because that's going to be dull for you guys, so let's not jump into that one. The Science asks, do you still want Twitch subs or are you done with that platform? Good question. So the moment, because I'm on 2 platforms, I would not suggest trying to subscribe to Twitch if you're not already. If anyone wants to sustain a Twitch subscription, it's greatly appreciated. At the moment, my numbers on both platforms are about equal. I kind of want to... I kind of want to move to YouTube, but but I need to get to the point that I can commercialize YouTube and then see how that does and compare the two. So we're a couple of months away from that. So I would just enjoy the show for now, is what I'm saying. Basically. What I would say is if you particularly want to support, if you want to support me, which is always greatly appreciated, then sending Dogecoin in is much appreciated. Let me, I've got an address here somewhere. I know, I put it on my website, so that's what I did with it. I don't know if anyone's seen this, by the way, but I've recently updated my website. Please do enjoy. But if you want to support the stream, you're also very welcome. Equally, please don't feel any pressure to. Like, if you want to support any of my other code developers, that is all their addresses, by the way. They're all on that last about page. Wicked Raw Crypto Tank Girl says she needs a lawyer. I haven't met a lawyer I really like yet enough to want to recommend them, sadly. Like, they're all expensive and a lot of times want to really just upsell you as many services as possible. So, difficult to recommend one, sorry. So this is building. Okay, Chris asks, hi Ross, how far along are we with the Ethereum bridge and can we expect any news regarding it soon? So Oscar emailed me a couple of nights ago and I forgot to email him back, but that was about whether the foundation can fund him, to which the answer, if you're watching this, Oscar, is that we don't know. We need to get the initial setup done, work out what our sustained burn rate of cash is, and that will then inform what we can support further. We then need to look at all the projects people are asking you to do, because so it's not just the Doge Ethereum bridge, but people are talking about mobile wallets. I think some people everyone wants an NFT platform for Doge. We need to be thinking about adoption by stores. So there's like 20 different projects. We need to make a priority list of those and then work out what their resourcing requirements would look like, and then look at what funding we could attract for them. So potentially, one option I like personally is that we could make a Doge address for each of them, and say to people, if you want to support this specific one, pay into that fund, and we will then use that for that project. And otherwise, we will continue down this list as funding enables. And that might be a good way of dealing with it. That said, if I go to Patreon and I support something, but it doesn't get enough money to succeed, I am not charged. But if I have to send money to a Dogecoin address to support something, and it doesn't have enough funds to succeed, then what happens with the funds? So you kind of open that can of worms on funding and planning. It's difficult. I didn't realize LinkedIn was broken. Okay, LinkedIn works for me. Roselle asks why you guys takes it forever to finish the project. Because this isn't my day job. So I did, a full day at a different job, and then came home and basically made tea, put a hat on, and started streaming. That's the time I've had for this. But again, this is the whole thing we're saying at the foundation is we saw. So for the first 7 years of Dogecoin's life, we've had significantly less in the tip jar than a year's worth of developer salary. And suddenly we get to mid this year and the developer tip jar has enough to run a number of developers. Great, wonderful. But it's all out of sequence. Because if I want to make a startup, I go to a startup incubator and they help me get started. I create a bank account and the bank doesn't care because I've got 10 quid. So they don't have to worry where the money came from. I go to the lawyers and they go, it doesn't matter, no one's going to care what you're doing. With Dogecoin, we start with a product and we create a company backwards from it. And that's creating a lot of friction in the process. So we are working on it. And definitely we are going to get to the point we have full-time people and they will, they'll be salaried and they can work on this without needing to worry about whether they can pay rent at the end of the month, which is a big deal. And that will exponentially increase the effort, essentially. So there you go. Oh, that is not the right window. Test functional. Cool. Undescribed says, can we pay you to work full-time on Doge? You could, but it wouldn't be cost effective because part of what I do is I manage people, I do strategy, but you can get better developers, as in the actual hands-on developers, I would argue better developers, for less. I'm high profile and I do the streaming because I think it helps people have a point of engagement. But it doesn't make me the strongest developer, it just makes me the visible developer. So that's why we have others doing the actual development. Mr. S says, who is handling Dogecoin Twitter account? Again, so we've got 2 people. So there's a number of answers there. Partly, they also have a day job. They're currently at their day job. But also, anything we want to talk about through Dogecoin, the main account, we have to know, are they good? Wait, which airline started taking Doge? I missed that too. I need to fly places. Tell me. If it's BA, even better. Paras asks, how far along are we 114.4? So that's released, which is I don't think what you mean, but it's what you asked. 114.5, I'm just waiting for people to tell me it's good to go and I can ship it. And I really just need 1 or 2 other people to sign off on it, but it can't be just me going YOLO and throwing it over the fence, as much as that sounds like fun for me. So what we're doing at the moment with this, there we go, with 100 and odd tests running, is we are verifying fee changes in 121. I think I'm out of tea. Oh no, I've got more tea, it's fine. It's not a catastrophe yet. Give me time. We'll get to a catastrophe. So I'm going to get a few failures in 121 and then clean them up. And what we're doing with 121, what I want to do with 121 is try simplifying, so 121 rewrites basically everything. So I want to see if we can make the fees simpler, but we need to get to a point where it's economically stable enough that we can use the same values for the relay and the wallet numbers again, which is what 114.4 enabled and 114.5 then uses. We're then going to converge it to simplify, but there's a lot of cleanup going on behind the scenes to make that happen. And in a second I will test this one, or I'll try fixing this one that's just broken. I think the tricky part, Undead King Taze, is can we get Legal Eagle's attention? But certainly if they want to work with us, awesome. Right, so... So this is the one that's failed, there we go. And what it's done... Oh, it's got a few of them actually, that's quite good. Okay, so we've got a few errors we can work with now, that's enough to get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this first one. So for those of you who've been here for a very long time, and thank you for sticking with me, what we first do is we check the failure and understand what's going on. Oh, and it's... What? What are you on about? Okay, so it turns out the legacy wallet parameter is probably important. Okay, let's add that in. I'll close that. Cool. So we've recreated the problem we saw. Now the question is, what is this testing and why does it fail? So let's take a look at this. So this looks like it hasn't successfully... Hang on. Get diff head -1. Really, that's a lot of changes for one small thing. Minimum transaction fee is 0.01. Okay, that makes sense. So that should be working. Okay, I think it's just off by 1 is what's happening. So I previously failed on line 141, yes. So it has in fact improved things. We've moved further down. What we've now done is need to get line 448. Hang on. $149 maybe? we fixed one. Okay, the next one that fails is wallet basic. I mean, the thing I would say, if people want to sort of be... So one of the things I've been doing is trying to get faster reviews on my own code. So for example, if someone wants to start reading through all of this and tell me if there's any problems, that would be great. That's really useful. So that one, tell me if there's any problems there. It's okay, I think a lot of us have no idea what's going on. Okay, 312. So what we're seeing is a lot of numbers that were off by 1. A lot, just a little bit basically. And what we're doing, we're just bumping those numbers back up at one step. I want to make sure this is actually sending transactions correctly, because I'm beginning to get a bit suspicious of it, frankly. Okay, so that's the 2 failures we had. That's interesting. Copy address. Yeah. So I want to send to that. To send like that. Oh, it's only micro Doge. That's not useful to me. There we go. Okay, so we need to then see if that transaction ID gets to chain.so. It does, so that's, hang on, let me just bring that up again. So it's received the transaction, so we know it's relaying correctly. That's what I wanted to verify there. So that's good. Okay, git log. Let's push this to the remote server, because then it will trigger continuous integration on the server. Test functional test runner. I'm a bit stuck. Oh, hang on. Now what we can do is I think I am a little bit stuck right now for tasks I can tackle quickly. Oh, that's interesting. YouTube's not popped up. I hadn't realised that. I do apologise, everyone. There we go. No, it's just not going to show. Okay. Well, you have to imagine there's a YouTube stream up there. And I've now lost my stream. There we go. Yeah, so what I've done is I pushed 121 along a bit. Now the next set of tests are going to take about half an hour to an hour to run. I don't want to do that live because that's going to be super dull basically. So what I'm going to do is talk for a little bit and then we'll probably wrap up a little bit early. Also, I see I have a Windows update pending. Scary. Yeah, again, when people are asking about the burn, and the answer is like, the only way we can burn it is if we increase the fee so you can burn it. So if you want, we can give you a button. Like, I'm genuinely really tempted to do this in 121, is give you a button that just adds 3 zeros to your fees and then burns them. Like, we could do that, that's easy. But I don't think you want that. I don't think you want to pay for it. I think you just want burn to magic. It's kind of the fact that Ethereum's fees are high is part of why the burn, like in particular the fact that they are burning more Ethereum than they are mining is a side effect of their fees being high. So when they burn those $3 fees, that's why it works. If we burnt like a fraction of a cent, it wouldn't make a difference. And if we add a 0 to your fees so you could burn it, that's not the right model either. That's the thing. I think it's a token thing. Like, I think it comes from ERC20 tokens or their Binance equivalent, where the model is often that the token issuer has the full supply and then they keep a significant part of the supply. And I know Binance, for example, burns a lot of tokens. Now, we don't do that. Like, all of the coins are all handed out to someone. Like, that's whoever mined them at the time. So there are big pots of coins, and they could burn them. Absolutely, that could be a thing. But we don't have the control over those to burn them. I mean, also, like, Doge Party burnt 2 billion Dogecoin back in 2015. Like, you again, we can just send stuff to a burn address if you want to do it. Well, you can send it to a burn address. But I don't think anyone wants to actually pay for a burn. That's the thing. And it's kind of what has to be someone's. Right, so stream plans. Not streaming Friday, sorry about that. I will be streaming on Sunday. That will be another coding stream. We'll be back over on Twitch for that one. Again, it's just kind of working both platforms because I'm trying to get people to start tuning into both, so please tune into both. Please follow on Twitch, please subscribe on YouTube. It does help with both platforms and promoting me and getting more viewers. These tests that are running in the background, I'll have them ready to run through on Sunday. I don't have an easy way of poking people and going, can we just ship 1.14.5, but I will try to ask them and go, hey, what else is pending? But we've at least reviewed everything I think is critical today. I think that's good. I'm going to go get out of the hat and wind down because I've been up since 7 a.m. and it is now 9 p.m. and I'm not even done with my meetings for the day. Have a great evening all. Have a great evening all. I think in terms of the price, like, we're always about driving the utility, so let's make it more useful. Like, one of the things we're going to be talking about is how do we do better integration for stores? How do we make it super simple for them to take Doge? We want to make it that they just go, of course they want to take Doge, and they just press a little click box in their platform of choice and it just starts taking Doge. That's our ideal. But there's a lot of work between here and there, obviously. Anyway, see you all on Sunday. Have a great week meantime. I can see more errors popping up, so I'll work on those later. But yeah, have a great evening. Thanks for coming. It's been good seeing you all.